Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to get the studs all fitted in here. I've got some thin gasket material, so I'm going to put a gasket in there before I do all the studs. So what I'm going to do first though, I'm going to have a move about so that I can work on both sides of the engine. So it would be literally turning this 90 degrees onto the other bench here. So I get that done first. Right, I've had to move around so I can work both sides of the traction engine now. What I'll do, I don't mind if I say so myself, it's looking pretty smart. What I'll do now is I'll get the camera on the stand and we'll start putting the studs in for the cylinder covers. Right, so there I've cut a load of studs for this side. Screw them in there. A little bit fiddly. Lovely, that's one. Two. That's two. I'll just get the rest in and I'll get back to you. Right, so that's the low pressure studs put in and done up. Lovely. Now I've got to do the high pressure one round there. I'll get back to you when I've done that. So that's both cylinders done, look, bolted on, done up. I have put some thin gasket paper in there. I think while I'm doing the bolts I'm going to try and get the rear plates on as well. That'll be that little job done then. Lovely. Right, that's the rear plates on now. Good. I'm pleased with that. I'll just put the camera back in the stand. Right, so now I've got to do the slides that go on here. I've got the angle. These two pieces I used when I jigged it up a while ago now. But they've got to be machined now to size. So that slides in there. That's the right width for there. It's got to be machined down to size here. So then that'll be fitting on there, bolted on the top of the cover there. That top one, yes, it's supposed to be thinner than that, so I may machine inside to get it to the right thickness. Because at the time 1/8 angle was all I could get. Right, so let's start getting on with machining these. I've got a piece of the angle in the vise there set up like that. The angle is supposed to be, that's an 1/8, should be 332, so I've got to take a 32 off the thickness. So it's easier to do that first and then turn it over that way and then make that down to 3/8. So just skim that one. that should be what I'm looking for. Spot on. Right, I'll do the other angles like that, and then I'll get back to you. Right, that's machined down to thickness. Now I've got to do is make that down to 3/8 of an inch. I think I've changed a bit now. Right, I've got this set up now to take that down to 3/8 of an inch. Right, this is the last cut for this side, this flange. Right, I'll just give that a measure. Right, so there we are. 0.375, that's 3/8 of an inch. That's perfect. Now what I'll do is I'll put them in the, do the rest of the flanges, and I'll get back to you. Right, there's your 4 pieces of angle, 3/8 by 3/8 by 332. Let's turn the drawing up the right way. Next thing we got to do, I mean the 2 I jigged up in a previous video ages ago, those holes bolt the slides onto the cylinder cover. That one there and that one there. So the two that I haven't done, I've got to mark those holes out. Got to make sure I mark them out in a pair. And then somewhere there should be an oiler. I'll have to look at another drawing for that. There's an oiler in there, so because there's an oil hole in that cast in there, you've got to oil the slides anyway, and also the oil will end up going down through the hole into there. Once I've done that, I can then offer these up, get them to fit in between the way shaft bracket and drill those holes there. So that's the next job then. Mark the holes out. That will bolt them onto the cylinder cover. Right, before I mark any holes, I just thought I'd offer these up. They fit actually blooming good. That is just machining the angle to the sizes on the drawing. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to do the two I jigged up, I'm going to leave as the top ones. I'm quite happy with the fit of these. So on the top one and then the bottom one, I've got to mark the hole there. On the drawing for the oiler, on the top one, it should be centre of the way shaft bracket according to the drawing. So I'll mark that there. That'll be where I'm going to mark out my oiler. I'll mark the bottom one there. Obviously when you oil the machine when you're using it, you'll squirt the oil in the oiler there, which will oil the top slide in there, and then you'll just have to put a little drop of oil on there as she's running. Right, so let's I'll just mark these holes out. I'll mark the back of the other one on the other side, which should be opposite to that. Right, so these will be my two bottom slides. Right, so I'm going to mark the holes now and then drill those first. Right, I've marked and centre punched those two holes out. So that one's the bottom slide over that side. That one. Next I'll mark for the oiler on the top two of those. Right, so at the minute I've marked and centre punched the fixing holes for the end caps, and on the ones that I've already drilled the end caps, what I used in an earlier video, I've marked and centre punched for the oiler. One for that side, one for that side. So I think what I'll do now is I'll drill these for a 4BA clearance. And these 2BA thread is going in there, so I'll just drill those and tap those. Right, so I've drilled and tapped the holes. That's the tapped hole for the oiler. I've drilled all the end holes which will bolt that onto the cylinder cover. I didn't think you needed me to see that. Here's the oiler I've got, look. I mean, I brought two just out of curiosity. Very reasonable price. I can't remember where I got them from though. But what'll happen is that'll screw in there. Let's just get that screwed in a minute. That'll be screwed in there. That'll look like that. Right, so the next thing I got to do is drill the holes in that flange to bolt the slider onto the waste shaft bracket. Those two holes there. So I've marked and drilled. I didn't think you needed to see me mark and drill those out. That's the two top slides. Next thing I got to do is get in there and mark the two holes to bolt that in under there. And then I got to sort out some studs. Oh, and then put a radius on these corners, of course, the top corner and the bottom corner there. Right, I've drilled all the holes and I've blackened this part here. All I got to do now, put a little radius on this corner, that corner, and the same on the other side. And then we can bolt them on. Right, so I've put my little radius on all these corners. That's ready now to bolt on, but I think what I'll do, the top sides and the back, not the face that not that face there, what that's being slid on. I'm going to spray them black, I think. So I'll just get on and do that. Right, so I've given these slides a little quick coat of paint. I haven't painted the slide inside, look. I think they look nice when I've bolted them on. Put the oiler there. Now I've got to sort out some studs. Get them bolted on. Right, I got some studs cut. Let's get them in there. Another fiddly little job. Oh, that's that one screwed in. Let's get the next ones in. Right, yeah, in the end I was getting a bit fiddly with bits of studding and that, so I've used some 4B8 bolts cut down to length. That's the top one on this side. Lovely. Right, I'll just get on and put the others in and I'll get back to you. Right, that's this side done. Lovely. Now I've got to do the other side. So I'll do that and I'll get back to you. Right, that's both slides on both sides done. Lovely. Bit tricky. I mean, anybody else build one of these, what I would do, I didn't think I would bolt these slides onto the cap first and then put the piston and the slides in, because getting to that screw under there is pretty tight. Still, I'm happy with that. So now we can carry on for the next part. In the next video, I'm going to start making the eccentrics. There's 4 here. That's 2 per valve. And then you've got 1 on the other side, which will be going to the, I think it goes to the waste shaft. and then it works the pump, which the pump would be fitted here, I think it is. I got to look at the drawings, but as far as I know, the waste shaft goes through there. The pump eccentric works the shaft, which works the pump, I think. But yes, 2-part eccentrics fitting in there and one on there. That'd be interesting. So please subscribe to my channel and join me as I build a 2-inch scale Fowler Showmans Traction Engine.